Welcome to the 2-3 zone. I'm Ethan Shutt. Let's talk hoops. Our action in the bubble started with the Toronto Raptors taking care of business against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if I were to tell you that the Nets' leading scorer was Tyler Johnson, you could probably figure out that they lost already. But even that doesn't quite explain how bad they lost. The Toronto Raptors, my pick to come out of the East, took care of business, having a 31-point lead at one point in the fourth quarter. The game was never close. And honestly, much like everything leading up to this, it was a pretty all-around effort for the Raptors. Pascal Siakam led with 26, followed closely behind with Fred VanVleet with 22, and Serge Ibaka coming in with 20 of his own. As I said, Tyler Johnson did lead the Nets with 23 points, but after that, it was a pretty big drop-off with nothing too spectacular other than Jared Allen grabbing himself 17 rebounds. Now, if you were going to ask me to put money on one series to be a sweep, this would have been it. And right now, it looks like that's going to happen. I don't really see anything happening that could go too crazy in Game 4. I honestly think the Raptors could rest some players and still take care of business, but we'll kind of see where that goes. The second game of the day was the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. Now, this series has kind of been my surprise so far, just in terms of what I expected to happen, what's really happening. So when Game 2 went and Mitchell again took over, had a great game, they ended up winning by 19. I thought Game 3 would go differently. Game 3, unfortunately, was nothing but Jazz. The Jazz won 124-87. And the story of the game, oddly enough, was not Donovan Mitchell, as he was held just to 20 points. It was Mike Conley. Mike Conley, a favorite of mine going back to his days in Memphis, came out on fire, going 7 of 8 from 3. I don't know if what we saw from Fred VanVleet last year was a real thing, the dad power that comes with going and being with your new baby, but right now Mike Conley's making that seem pretty legit. I'm hoping that Game 4 the Nuggets can kind of turn this thing around. Not really pulling one way or another, but I want to see a good series. In the third game, we saw the Boston Celtics extend their series lead to 3-0 over Joel Embiid. Well, I mean, I guess the Philadelphia 76ers, but in reality, Joel Embiid. Now, this game ended 102-94, but if you actually kind of saw how that game developed, it was a lot closer than just an 8-point lead to end it. The Sixers had a 2-point lead with just a few minutes to go before the Celtics closed on a 10-0 run to win the game and take a 3-0 series lead. Kemba Walker is an all-star talent. He's been to the all-star game a few times. He's been in the league for, 8-9 years now, but he's about to do something that's new for him, and that's win a playoff series. They are one game away from making that happen. Kemba Walker played exceptional in Game 3, putting in 24 points of his own to kind of run that offense, especially with Gordon Hayward a little bit limited. This team is reminding me of the Kyrie Irving-less Celtics from just a little bit back. Their young talent is absurd. Great production on the wings. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. They look pretty dangerous. If it's not going to be the Raptors out of the East, I assume it's got to be the Celtics. The Bucks just right now don't look themselves. The last game of the night, we saw the Clippers take care of the Mavericks 130-122. And the story of the night for both teams goes to their 1 and 2 respectively. Kawhi Leonard looked the part of a finals MVP, dropping 36 points and adding 9 rebounds and 8 assists with a couple steals and a block, having an excellent game start to finish. And next to him was playoff P, aka Paul George, playing a total of 37 minutes and shooting a marvelous 3 of 16. Now, with Kristaps dropping 34 and 13 and Luka posting a triple-double, you got to keep your hopes high for the 7 seed. Unfortunately, the biggest story of the night is Luka's injury in the third quarter. Now, Luka hurt his left ankle, which is kind of good news, as it's not his right ankle, the one that's been bugging him all season. We saw him check himself out in the third quarter, come back and play a bit in the fourth, but things didn't look right. So if the Mavericks have any hope of pulling this off against the Clippers, we're going to have to see if Luka's ankle can hold on. If you like the video, if you like being caught up with what's going on in the NBA, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm Ethan Shutt. This is the 2-3 Zone. See you next time.